Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. I am excited to be leading you through this content that I'll be sharing with you today. Rest assured, I'm going to give you proven tools that can help you design the kind of life that you want, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's your career, whether you want to work on your health, on your relationships. This is a universal content that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. So this is for you. If right now you feel like you've hit a plateau in your life, your personal life, your career, or your business, and you want something to jumpstart you and help you get out of that rut. And you may be saying, Hannah, I'm not in a rut. I am fine. I am cruising, at 160 kilometers per hour. And still that's fine for you, because you can cruise much further than that. So this program will help you to actually unleash your potential and utilize it to get better results than what you are getting right now. Or you may be saying, you know what, I'm all put together, my life is okay, but I don't know how to move from where I am to the next level. I've done the best I could with what I know, and I'm here, but I feel like there is more to my life. So this program will help you to take you from there to where you actually want to go. So really, this will actually meet you exactly where you are, because we are at different levels of our journeys in life. We are at different levels of our personal development, our professional development, but the important thing is to recognize where you are so that you get help to move from there to where you want to go. And these principles that I'm going to share with you are actually proven strategies that are being used by top achievers around the world. It's used by business owners, philanthropists, sportsmen, entertainers, whichever field you can think of. This is universal. So if you really take it seriously, it will help improve your life and take it to the next level. So I invite you to utilize your workbooks. If you have printed your workbook, make sure you are using your workbook, because we'll go along with it. At times, I will refer to your workbook so that you can check where we are going. And sometimes I'll give you time to actually pause and answer some of the questions in your workbook. So it's important that you have your workbook printed out and you have a pen where you could write and jot down whatever that you want to write. So with having said that, I will start, and I want to share with you my screen. So I am going to temporarily go off and bring forth my screen so that you are able to see where I am and where I am directing you in terms of the workbook and where you need to engage. So welcome to the R Factor. So this webinar is called the R Factor, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And if you have been in some of my challenges, or if you are following me, you would understand where the R is coming from. So that R is coming from response. So as we move on, you'll understand why it's called the R Factor. Okay. Okay. So let's start. So welcome to the R Factor, which is one thing that you are going to need to take your life to the next level. So that R comes from this equation that says that E plus R is equals to outcome. So which means that the event plus the response is equals to outcome. So basically what it's saying is that, the first step to creating a different future in your life is to really respond differently. So, we can't control events that are happening, but the only thing that we can actually we can actually change is the response. So how are you responding to a particular situation, to a particular event that is actually happening in your life. So when I first learned this equation, I kind of responded to life's events as they came up. When something is happening, you start getting all geared up and fighting it, and shouting, blaming, frustrated and doing everything that you can ever think of when something happens that you did not actually expect. And I was that person who was also blaming the traffic. I think you can relate what I mean. When you are not able to control your response and monitor it, you are going to be blaming everything that's happening. It's because of the traffic, it's because of the rain, So really for me, when I learned this about 4 years ago, it was a game changer in my life, which is why I ended up having this mantra that I'm always reprimanded for. I came up with this mantra that shit happens. So basically for me, it helped me to really appreciate that things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. I may not be able to control them, but I can actually control the way that I want to respond so that I can continue going on with life. So it's simple. If you want to get a different outcome, you just respond differently. And this is applicable to everything, whether you have a tire burst, whether you have a break-in in your house, whether you have your laptop stolen, or whether you have your laptop not really working. So you can't blame the event. You just have to find a way of responding differently. A typical example, I was speaking at an event the other week at Botswana Innovation Hub, and I had prepared and done everything, but the night before, I accidentally poured tea on my laptop, and that was the end of it. So I had to remove the battery, switch it off, and forget about everything that was in the laptop. Fortunately, as a trainer and a coach, we are always advised to have backup. So I had another laptop, although it didn't have the exact content that was in the main laptop that I use. So I ended up not throwing any pity parties. I just told some of the speakers that I have a crisis here. My laptop is off, so I need to start recreating a new presentation, something that I will use to guide my talk tomorrow. And that's what I did. I went back to the drawing table and I throw pity parties of what could have happened and started blaming or even giving an excuse that I can't go and speak the following day. So, depending on where you are, you can relate, but this is the first step in this life-changing formula I've been talking about, is to really take responsibility for how you respond, to things that are happening around you, to circumstances that you encounter in your life. And this requires a deliberate and thoughtful, way of looking at things. It challenges you not to become overreactive. So you need to become proactive and stop really reacting to anything and becoming emotional. So, but at the end of it, it's always your choice. So you choose whether you want to become all emotional and to react instead of responding. So you have a choice to either respond or react. And you can relate. What do you do when you are facing things that didn't go your way? Do you respond or do you react? So you want to really look at that, because that is your life. You know yourself better. And it's important to respond because there are always opportunities. There are always other ways of doing things if the first plan has failed. But you can only see them if you are responding. If you are open-minded and respond rather than reacting, because once you react, you tend to really either make bad choices or you give up way, way too soon than you could have done. So you miss the opportunities that could have otherwise helped you had you not just been too emotional. So what do you need to do if you take responsibility of your life and change your response? It means you need to give up blaming and complaining about events, because you are not going to change events. No matter how much you complain, no matter how much you whine, you will never change events and circumstances in life. You are always going to get something that just goes off the grid and throws you off. So the first step really to taking responsibility of your life and to learning how to respond accordingly is to give up blaming and complaining. I always tell people that whenever you find yourself blaming or complaining, it means you have a reference point of what you actually want in your life. You know it, but you are not willing to go all out to make it happen. So you kind of then find yourself just complaining. And the most common thing that we actually do is to complain to the wrong person. Have you ever done that? Or have you ever seen someone complain to the wrong person? Typical example is you are at work, you get worked up at work because someone expressed you the wrong way. And instead of really talking to them and telling them what's happening, you just bottle up and you go home. And the moment that you set foot in your house, at home, then that's when now you start telling either your spouse or your kids and other people and complaining about how this person did not treat you well. So those are some of the things that we end up really doing and complaining to the wrong person. But what is the mature discussion you need to have? Is you need to be able to talk to the person who has kind of wronged you and tell them how you feel, about the way that they have actually treated you. So this is for you, it's going to be relationship management 101, just being able to face the other person and tell them how you feel and how you'd rather want them to treat you. So you'll realize that you will address that, because the other person will look into what they have done, depending on whether they are at a level of taking up responsibility or not. But at the end of the day, you can't change another person. You can't make them feel something or say something different. So it's up to you to find a way of how do I respond if this person is still insisting on the way that they have behaved. So ask yourself now that you blame events outside your control. Because if you are blaming events outside your control, you are just wasting your time. You could be directing that time and energy to other things. So you really want to then ask yourself, how can I take responsibility in advance and prepare for life's frequent upsets, because they are going to happen, whether you like it or not. So one of the ways of really taking responsibility in advance for this life's frequent upset is to know how to notice yellow alerts. What we call yellow alerts are some of those things, in life that kind of are recurring incidents, recurring events that kind of shows you that something is really going to go wrong, or something is going to happen that's not going to be in your favor. And what do we do? So sometimes we keep on just ignoring those things, that those things happen in relationships, they happen in the workplace, where you can see that someone is behaving differently. They keep on coming late, and you keep on covering them. They keep on coming late, you keep on covering them. By the time that you want to start asking them to stop, it's already too late. But you have seen it coming. The same thing when you are interviewing someone for a job, and you pick some hints or some behavior, and you still hire them. For example, one of the questions that I like to use when I interview people for a job is, I ask them, why did you leave your previous job? And you'll be amazed at the kind of response that I get. And for me, that response is very, very important, because it helps me decide who to hire if there are two people who are a tie. Like, for instance, if someone tells me that, no, I was just tired, I wanted to go and rest. Then I ask, oh, okay, so it means if you are tired 2 weeks later, you are going to go home and rest. Said, no, it's not like that. For me, it's a yellow alert. And then someone would say, no, the boss there, he was accusing me of many things. He's actually a bad person. And I'm thinking, in a month's time, she's going to be talking the same thing about me, that I am actually a bad person. So you see, those are yellow alerts that when you are hiring someone, you should be very conscious of them, that, okay, this one, whenever they feel like they are tired, they quit their job, and then they can come back again when they are not tired. So it means their level of commitment is very poor. So you really want to do that, to look at those yellow alerts in your life, look at those little hints and recurring events in your life, because they want to guide you that something may actually be wrong at the end of the day. And so right now, I want you to really look at what are some of the yellow alerts in your life right now. Just take a few minutes and, a minute and really think through what are some yellow alerts in your life right now that you've been seeing. I will guide some of you. Some of you, I think one of the things that has yellow alerts is our health. Normally our health, our bodies tell us that they are tired, that they can't take it anymore, and we push and push and push. So those are yellow alerts. When your body starts telling you that you are tired, you are fatigued, and you need to rest, and you continue pushing yourself until you reach a point of breakdown, where you now have to completely either stay at home or go and be tucked in hospital. So what are some of the yellow alerts in your life right now? It can be in your personal life, it can be in your workplace, it can be in your business if you own a business. So take a moment and really note down what are those yellow alerts in your life right now, that you are kind of ignoring. Okay, really, what yellow alerts tell us is that something is bound to go wrong. And most of the time, we all get yellow alerts and we ignore them. Why? Because taking action is not comfortable, it's inconvenient. In relationships, we find things that are off and we allow them to continue happening, to continue recurring, because it's uncomfortable to discuss them. So until they actually blow out of proportion. So really, what this principle tells us here about yellow alerts is that we're actually not the victim. We are not victims because we see those yellow alerts and we kind of ignore them, rather than acting upon them on time. So the truth is that we are almost always given clues that things are coming, but we are either too busy to notice those, or we are too timid and too scared and afraid to really confront them and take action. So I want you now to ask you, what is it that's thing in your life right now that is troubling you? So let's look at what is one thing that is actually troubling you that you can address today and resolve. So look at exercise 1 in your workbook. In today's workbook, go to exercise 1 and look at that. What is that one thing that is troubling you that you can resolve? So look at that. What is it? Are you creating it or you are allowing it? In life, there are two things. It's either we create things by doing them or we allow them to happen. Either way, we are responsible. They like to say that not deciding is taking a decision. So if you are not deciding to do something, you have actually taken a decision not to decide. So are you allowing it or you are actually creating it? So you want to look at that. So look at those two different exercises, that are in the workbook and answer them. So the first exercise, is where we are looking at a difficult or troubling situation, analysis there in that first one. So just like an unexpected event We all experience ongoing troubling situations from time to time, and it's part of life. We can't run away from them. And no matter how well prepared you are to avoid this hardship, they are just simply going to happen. And if they are not addressed, they actually can trouble you for years. So it's far easier to resolve a situation and then move on than to have it lingering on and on in your life, you know. And I'm talking about simple situations like where you have a teenager or a sibling who is not speaking to you, you know, a financial difficulty that is getting worse every day, and you are not doing anything to resolve it. A health condition that is nagging you or that's uncomfortable and you are ignoring it. Or a tense atmosphere at the office, at the workplace, that you are not having enough courage to really deal with, you know. And you know, it could go on and on. So the key here is to actually respond, you know, is to actually respond to the events and see what could actually happen if you take a stand and you make a commitment to resolving it, you know. So this exercise will really help you to get past a current situation so that you can focus on your success again. Most of the time, if we have things that are left unattended, that we are unable to resolve, they become like a block. So they become like a limiting effect where they stop us from going beyond that. They stop us from achieving the things that we want. So you want to look at those things and really work on them. So the exercises that I was referring to, it has full instructions, so in the workbook. So after this, give yourself time to really analyze the payoffs, you know, the benefits you get from keeping a situation like that. What are you getting by just keeping the situation like that? So what are the benefits, you know? And what are the negative costs of keeping it like that? There may be benefits that you are comfortable, but the consequences are going to be actually negative. So you don't want to fail to respond just because it's uncomfortable. Feel the fear, you know, but and find the courage to actually do it, because it's only when you start taking action towards it that you are going to start making progress. And then the next exercise on yellow alerts you have there in your workbook is this exercise 2 is what are you pretending not to know? You know, sometimes when we encounter things that feel like they are too much for us, we kind of just put them under the carpet and try to ignore them. So we just pretend that they don't exist when they exist. So you can ignore it temporarily, but the truth is going to continue eating your inner peace. It's going to continue keeping you awake at night, and you won't be able to really become productive and focus on what you want to do. So you want to look at your life. What is it that you are pretending not to know right now? So if you're experiencing negative outcomes in your life right now, perhaps you are ignoring the facts, you know, or you are excusing your part in creating a problem that is actually affecting you. So to help you identify areas to take corrective action, you know, the exercise asks you to examine each area of your life, you know, and determine if there is a problem that you are ignoring or creating in your life. You might be ignoring something to your health, something in your finances, something in your family, something in your lifestyle or your career. Whatever it is, this exercise is going to really help you to respond to the yellow alerts before something disastrous occurs, because you don't want it to actually go that far. So that is, make sure that you create time to really look into that exercise, do those exercises properly, and see how you can take action and resolve them. So one of the next critical steps in achieving the things that you want really is the ability to decide what you want, which is why this is kind of one of the core principles that I teach and coach in my coaching programs. That is why I host vision board workshops is actually answering these success principles of deciding what you want to do. Because, most of us just go about in life on autopilot. A lot of things have been decided for us either by our parents, either by our teachers, and we found ourselves in careers that we didn't choose, in relationships that are no longer serving us, and we are afraid to really stop and decide, what is it that I want? And we have not been trained actually to do that, because from the time you are born, you start learning to speak, you go to school, you are just being told what to do. Up to secondary school, the teachers are telling you what to do. Is that changing in university a little bit, but you are still being guided until you finish school and go and start working. That's when, and also even at work, your supervisor or your employer is going to tell you what to do. But the exciting thing is that in your life, no one is going to tell you what you want in your personal life. So you might as well face it and really decide what is it that you want to do once for all, And this is important because the universe rewards action and preparation. So if you really take the time to decide what you want to do and become very clear about it, the universe is really going to reward you, because you are going to start manifesting all of those things that you want to do, because what you want also wants you. So what you want is also calling forth for you, but sometimes you are not there and you are listening. So your goals, your desires, and needs are patiently waiting to gravitate to what you, once you decide what you truly want, which is why some of my clients, when they just attend the vision board workshop, those 5 hours, when they leave, they feel like they can take over the whole world, because with that clarity, a lot of things start happening in their life. They start manifesting so many things, And I normally share with people this, that one of the main reasons why we don't get what we want is that we haven't decided what that is. So you want to really define those things that you want in very clear terms, comparing terms, the goals, what is it that I want? And once you really have decided, you are going to find that you are going to start moving in the direction of the things that you want. And if you don't do that, other people are going to do that for you. They're going to keep on telling you, do this and don't do this. And you are going to follow suit. Before you know it, you'll be living someone else's dream. And it's not good, it's not nice to live someone else's dream, when you have your own. But unfortunately, the sad reality is that most people, they simply they're not honest with themselves, And if they would realize that their shoes are almost less interesting, they wouldn't want to do it. That is why I'm so big on allowing people to be authentic, to just be themselves, and do the things that they want in their life, rather than pushing them around and telling them, do this and do that. So give yourself the gift of time, find the courage to sit down and decide what is it that you want to do. This is a long process to become very clear. I can't do it justice in a 1 hour session, but I will give you some tools that you can go when you get home and start working on. So the next exercise is there on your workbook, is where you use what I call I want list. So make an I want list. In that exercise, write what is it that you want. What do you want? Just make a list. Write up to up to 10 to 30 people, and do that. So here in the webinar, I'm just going to give you about 5 minutes to really just come out from your heart and flow and write. What is it that you want? List it in terms of what you want to do, the places you want to visit, the things you want to achieve in terms of whether it's your health, whether it's in your career, who you want to become, a better parent, a good speaker, whatever. What is it that you want deep down in your heart that is yearning to be expressed through you? What is it that you want? So pause. I'm going to pause now and give you 5 minutes to actually write that down. Write your list. Just write 1 up to maybe 30, where you will stop within these 5 minutes. Okay, 2 more minutes. One minute. Okay, that's fine. You can stop. So this can be a difficult exercise if you have not been coached before, or if you are used to asking yourself questions. And normally, the first time you do it, you may start thinking about material things only. But if you continue doing it, you're going to start really beginning to speak things that are coming from your heart. Things like you want to make a difference. Things like you want to express yourself. You want to spend more time with your family members. So I recommend that you find someone at home to do this exercise together. You ask them what do they want, and they just run it off, and you swap places and you do the same thing, because then it will help you to go deeper than you can actually go on your own. So to really help you go deeper into this, I'm going to share with you this vision exercise. I normally share it in my high-end coaching programs and my vision board workshops, which is called the vision exercise. It is there in your workbook. So this is an exercise that you can do just alone. So you start by putting on some relaxing music and sit comfortably, in an environment where you won't be disturbed, which could be at home or somewhere where you have created a conducive environment. Then you can close your eyes and ask your subconscious mind to give you images of what your ideal life would look like if you were living exactly as you want. So in my vision board workshops or in my coaching programs, I actually lead my clients through a meditation that helps them to really tap into their subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind has images of the ideal life that you want. But if you have not trained it to really tap into those images, you may not be able to see anything on your own. But if I walk you through uh, a process, of meditation, you find that you are able to do that. So, like I mentioned, create a time where there is no disturbance, and then close your eyes and imagine and visualize. Look at the key 7 areas, the 7 key areas in your life. Look at your career and professional life, whether it's work or business. How does it look like? If it's ideal, how will your ideal career or professional life look like? And then look at your finances. How would your financial life look like? Look at your recreation and free time. Do you have that? You create time for recreation and free time, or you are always busy working and grinding? How does your body and physical health look like? Are you at your optimum health, or you need to do something about your health? What would be your ideal weight? If your life is ideal, how would it look like? Your relationships, visualize your great relationships that you want in your life. So your personal growth, how do you want to grow? How do you want to develop yourself? Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to invest in coaching so that you are supported to move from where you are, you want to go? Do you want to learn a new instrument? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to shift jobs? What is it that you really want in your personal life? And then look at your contribution in your community. How do you want to show up? Do you want to serve? Do you want to volunteer? How do you want to make a difference? So look at all these 7 areas of your life and really tap into your subconscious mind to imagine how your life would look like if all these 7 areas were ideal. So as you go through this exercise, you'll be defining what you want to be, do, and have in each of the 7 areas. I always share with my clients that manifestation or having things is not a one-time process. It's actually a 3-step process. It's a be, do, have process. Be, do, have, So you want to know, who do you want to become? You have to become the person who can manifest the things that you want in your life. And you need to do what it takes for you to achieve the things that you want. So in that be, do, have, you realize that the have part, which is what all of us want, is the last part in that process. So first you need to become. And becoming is not easy because becoming requires us to change. Becoming requires us to let go, It requires us to let go of some habits that are no longer serving us. So really, you want to be able to do that. So I'm just going to take you through a very small part of it, of how you do it if you are at home. So I want you to, even if you are not using your workbook, I want you to close your eyes now and begin to breathe deeply in and out. Then take another deep breath in and another one. Now imagine you are in an ideal home environment. Where is this home located? What is the view outside the window? What are the colors of the main living areas in this home? What kind of decor or art objects do you have in your home? How does it look like outside? Is there any landscape? Is there music playing in the background? If there is music, what song is that? How do you feel as you stroll through the rooms of your ideal home? Now, come back, slowly, and open your eyes. So what you just did was an example of the vision exercise that you will be doing later there in your workbook. It's going to take time. It takes time, so you don't want to rush it. You want to really take time to do it. Preparation in deciding what you want is very, very important than actually doing the deciding, which is why in my programs we take quite a long time really doing this preparation. We don't just jump into getting to decide what it is that we want. I help my clients really prepare and become very clear of what they want, so that when they start working on what they want, they are really sure, that is exactly what they really want. So visualizing is going to help you to really decide what you truly want. So give yourself the gift of time to go through that process and visualize what is it that you want to do. So I normally explain that a vision is like the what. Is the what is it that you want? You don't look at the how in the vision, because once you start looking at the how, it's going to scare you. You're going to start thinking, I don't think I can do that. Who am I to think I can achieve it? So you just want to just think big and decide on what is it that you want, because the next step would be looking at how do you do it. But at this level, you are not looking into how you're going to do it. So you just determine what is it that you want, and you. So the next step now is for you to set specific goals. So you know what you want, you have come up with a vision, but then how do you achieve that? So this is where some people get stuck, because they have those big dreams, but they don't know how to really bring them to fruition. They don't know how to actually make them happen. So, getting what you want, which is what we discussed there, is okay, but you need to be able to set goals around what you want to do and be. You need to be able to set those specific goals that you can actually start tracking. So, for example, if you say that maybe I say I want to have a house at the beach someday, it's a nice dream or desire that I want, but I need to make it very, very specific, if I want to actually start manifesting that. So I may say that, okay, I want to own a 4,000 square foot house, along the ocean in Cape Town by April 30 in 2025. So if I give myself that time frame, that time freedom, and that time frame, then I can start working on it. I can start setting action steps that will help me start moving on to that. So can you tell the difference between the first one where I said I want to own a house at the beach someday? So I didn't even specify which beach was that. I didn't even specify when. I just say someday, but there is no date like someday. So you need to really become very clear and decide what is it that you really want to do. So as part of the vision exercise, you are going to be turning all of your wants into specific and measurable goals that you actually can begin working on. And that is what you're going to do in exercise 4. So you want to create those minimum target goals and outrageous goals. So have something that is minimum, that if it's not working, this is what my target is, this, and this is the outrageous part of it. So once you start that, so minimum goals are going to get you started. Most of the time, people get stuck because they come up with these big, outrageous goals, and when they take a long time to manifest, or they have challenges manifesting, they don't know how to do it, then they kind of give up. So now if you have your minimum goal, your target, and your outrageous goal, you're going to start with the minimum goal and then start working on the target, and then go all out and make it really big. So when you get there on your workbook and you are working on this, you want to really break them down in terms of what would be your minimum, And if you are looking at that, minimum is something that you target, is something that you might save up to 3 to 6 months, if you want to do it, whether you want to make it to save to buy something. And an outrageous goal might be to pay off all your debts. So it may take you like seven years or a long time. So you see how it goes. That some of it is short term, some of it is medium, and some of it is long term. So the outrageous goal is something that's going to really blow out your mind once you are able to achieve it. And your target goal is to do something within your capabilities, which you can do on your normal day-to-day life. So just look at your goals in terms of minimum, target, and outrageous, and go out there and really start doing it. And also even look at what can you delegate there and what needs your attention as the owner of that dream. And one of the things that we teach is, amongst all of the things that you want, is to choose a breakthrough goal. So to choose one single goal that will up-level every area of your life. Whenever I start working with clients, sometimes I realize that they want to change so many things at a go. They start having this awareness, and they look at their lives and realize that, oh my God, I am really lagging behind in so many things, and I want to change. So they want to change their health, they want to change their relationships, they want to change their jobs. They want to change everything at the same time. And I always question them, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to quit and go back to the default where you started. So you want to focus on a single goal that will help up-level every area of your life. And once you identify that one breakthrough goal, you will realize that it's going to help you to get going, to start and maintain the momentum. So a breakthrough goal would look like something like, maybe you want your house painted, maybe you want to clean, whether it's your garage or clean your house, or you want to lose 20 pounds, you know, or you want to start a business, you want to write a book, you want to save. So, you know, you focus on that one thing. And once you start really doing it, that's something that will up level you, whether it's in your career or in your income or your lifestyle, you realize that it's going to give you that momentum. So we feel good when we are able to achieve things. So once you are working on that breakthrough goal and you start achieving results, it's going to motivate you. It's going to motivate you and inspire you to continue working on it. Rather than when you start on a goal, you hit an obstacle, you hit your wall. If you start like that, you are going to get discouraged very quickly, and you may just end up giving up completely. So this breakthrough goal is what most of us are not accustomed to doing. We like to do a lot of things. In one of my high-end coaching programs, Ignite Your Spark, when we reach to like halfway of the program, each one has to come up with one big idea, one big goal that they want to start working on. And you know, most of the participants, they'll come with 3 or 4 things, but it is very clear that pick one thing, take one big idea and work on it. They'll always have ideas and the grandchildren's of the ideas and so many things, because they don't want to just focus on one thing. So in exercise 5 in your workbook today, you want to really decide what is that one thing that you want to work on. What is that breakthrough, or something that will change your life, that will bring you new opportunities, that will get you in front of the right people, you know, that will help you in whatever that you want to do. So what might your single breakthrough goal be? What can it be? So write down there what that one single change could make a difference in your life, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your lifestyle or relationship, that will boost you to the next level. So is it landing a promotion? Is it changing jobs? Is it starting a business or expanding your business? Is it finding a soulmate? You know, is it going back to school? Is it moving, relocating, moving your base? Is it retiring? So what is it? What could be a breakthrough goal for you? So take time later on to think about your breakthrough goal and write that down in the workbook. Is exercise number 5. So you want to be able to do that. And then there's one thing about setting goals that you need to actually believe. You need to believe that whatever that you set yourself to, you can do it. And this is where affirmations come in. This is where you tell yourself that this is going to happen. You are actually telling yourself, you're actually telling your brain to know that this is going to actually happen. And what you are doing here is you are helping your brain to stay focused. So your brain will stay focused and it will attract all the necessary resources that you actually need. Because our brain cannot differentiate between something, whether we are pretending or whether it's actually happening. This is why it's easy for us to scare ourselves when we are afraid. Everything is going to appear like it's real when it's actually not real. But when you are afraid, you feed your brain with fear, the brain will take it as if it's real, and you're going to really get so scared. So affirmations is the name that is used for this way of really training your brain to become focused and helping it to really gather all the resources that you need. So you want to envision whatever that you want as if they've already been achieved. So in the vision board workshop, when I'm working with clients or in the VIP sessions, I help them to just say it in the present tense. So we actually role play this, where they actually stand up and say it as if it has happened. So let's say you said you wanted to maybe relocate and go to another country, buy a house along the beach, buy a big house, and travel the world. So you would role play it like you just say, if you meet another person, say, oh, hi, how are you? And say, I'm fine, thank you. What's happened to your life? Oh, no, I've actually moved to Cape Town and I managed to buy that house that is along the beach. And we travel, maybe 3 or 4 times with my kids and my spouse, and we go and see different parts of the world. So it's really nice that I'm really doing the things that I've meant to do, that I wanted to do. So life is really great. So you see there, when you are actually in the process, you don't kind of just write it, you actually say it, because there's also so much power into really saying it out and repeating it, so that you can really start vibrating at that level of manifesting it. So you want to also be able to write some affirmations related to what you have chosen to do. You can write them maybe in cards and keep on repeating them, or where you can actually see them. So there is an exercise for you there. You can actually start looking at it and bringing that out. I know that some of the things that I'm going to share are very new to some of you, but this is actually things that have been scientifically proven to be true, and there is science backs it, all of it. So as scientists know now, they know that the brain is a goal-seeking organism. The brain is a goal-seeking organism. It means if you give it a compelling, colorful, crystal clear image of what you want, it's going to work day and night to create the opportunities that you want, the contacts, the resources, and circumstances that you need to achieve that vision. So in fact, the brain is a special function called the reticular activating system. So this is what filters through millions of impressions, millions of images and messages and thoughts that it processes each day, and passes to your conscious mind that specific information that will help you reach your goal. So amongst all of those thoughts, all of those things going on in your mind, if you tell your brain what is it that you really want, it is going to work as a filter. So it's going to filter out all the things that you don't want and only amplify the things that you want, and really help you to just focus and zero in on those things rather than your mind being on all over. So really with affirmations, what we are saying is just train your mind to focus on the things that you want, and stop being all over, So most of the things that I share with my clients that I do is I use a lot of these things, and I manifest a lot of things because of this. It may take time, but I actually start manifesting it. Like when I went to speak in the UK in 2016, I was about to go and speak in London at an event. I had actually manifested the year before in one of our Jack Canfield training programs, where we were asked, okay, you can't say you want to be international speaker or coach or trainer if you're not doing anything. So think of something that you could do so that you start going outside your borders. And I actually wrote down that I would contact Ganyo Penyo. She's from Maun. We went to school together. She was a year behind me. She has been living in London for so many years. So I just wrote that I would contact her, Ganyo, and see if she has an event where I could go and actually speak. And I wrote it in my journal, and I didn't do anything about it. But when the day came for me to start connecting with Ganyo, I actually photocopied that and sent it to her, that this is the appointment that I've long had with you, that you're going to invite me. And she invited me to go and speak at one of the launches of an organization that she was a part of. So that came to pass because why? I had put it down, and my brain knew that it had to actually happen. So take time to look at exercise 6 and really complete it and look into it and see what could come out of it. So, and then once you have done all of these things, you need to take action. I normally say, I am sick and tired of people who are always inspired. All the time people are inspired. Then what? It's okay to become inspired, but inspiration with no action really is not worth it. It's just like where they say in the Bible that faith with no deeds is no faith. So it means no matter how much inspired you get, you need to start taking action on the things that you want. You can't keep on dreaming and dreaming. You can't keep on aiming and aiming without taking a shot. So here in this step of taking action on your goals, the important thing is to really identify what needs to be done. Sometimes our biggest life goals seem so overwhelming, but how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you want to break down your major goals into smaller tasks, that could be implemented, that are easier to implement, and that would really help you to focus. So I normally share with my clients that everyone is complaining that they are procrastinators. And as a coach, I experience the same thing, and it's a bitter pill to swallow if you are a coach and you are procrastinating. But I've given myself time to really look into what happens when I procrastinate. Why do I procrastinate if I'm procrastinating? I realize that I procrastinate when I don't know like the actual steps of what I want to do. I don't know how to do it. So I kind of keep myself busy with other things that are easy for me to do. But the thing is, whatever that I'm trying to avoid is going to wait for me until I get back to it. So it means that whenever I'm tasked with doing something, I need to break it down into smaller goals. If I don't know how to do it, I need to ask for help. I need to look for someone who can help me, someone who has done it before, and ask them how did they do it so that I can start implementing. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like everyone else. I'll be dilly-dally, doing things, going on Facebook, checking messages, instead of actually working on the project. But if I just break down the project and write it down and know where to start, what to delegate, I find it easier to just get ahead and actually do it. Then there are people who keep on preparing. Those people who are always preparing, collecting data, researching, and then throwing away the research to start researching again and again. So if that is you, don't get stuck in preparation mode. My mentor, John Maxwell, keep on saying, you are aim. He said, shoot. So you want to stop aiming and don't get stuck in preparation. Start taking action and start doing that. And the best way to do it is really to chunk it down. Chunk it down. There is never going to be a perfect time. So stop preparing and researching and planning to try and get it perfect, because there is no perfect time. The right time for you is to start is actually now, and you will perfect and improve over time. So determine what those baby steps are and start taking them now. So whatever that you are working on in your life right now, that you have kind of procrastinating, you have kind of avoiding because it seems too big for you to do, it seems too overwhelming, my advice to you is break it down, chunk it down into manageable goals, and start taking action with where you are and what you have. So stop waiting for what you don't have. Use what you already have and start really moving forward. So I believe that from here, most of you who were stuck, who felt like they had too much on their plate, they're gonna go back and chunk it down, bite it into small pieces, and start taking action again. And then some may ask, okay, I'm always taking action, but I'm not getting the results that you want. So the question then is, okay, how are you taking action? So let's look at what you can do to help you take action. So I want to introduce you what is called the rule of 5. The rule of 5 is where you chunk down goals into smaller steps. Is where, like, if you have a target of saving up to 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses maybe for an emergency, or maybe to buy something that you want. What steps could you take to pull you forward, to pull that money together over the next, whether it's 8 to 10 months? So you want to break that down. And into the rule of 5, this is how it would look like. So you want to make a wish list. What is that you want? Then you want to break it into steps. Then you want to choose how many to accomplish each day, and then you start working on achieving them. So let's say you want to save money, for example. So the first thing would be to determine how much money do you want, determine the amount of money that you want to save every month. So what is it? Is it 50 pula? Is it $100? What is it? And then identify what part of your current savings or money that you're going to use for that fund. What are you using to fund that? Because I guess you didn't have money lying around that you could use, so it means you need to cut somewhere, And then you're going to make a list of other sources where you can save your money, such as maybe if you work overtime or if you have a bonus or something that you can actually save. And actually, I found another way of really saving money is not actually to make more money. Is to look at what can you cut that is in your life that you don't need right now, that you can let it go, so that you can divert that money to something else, Then you can look at what can you sell. Is there something that you can sell that you actually don't need to claim that money? And then it means you need to open an account for that money if you want to really put it away. So there are a lot of things that you can actually do. So if you break down that into 5 things that you can actually do, then you are able to continue to tick the one that you've achieved, the one that you've achieved, until you realize that you are actually gaining traction. So those are the 5, the rule of 5 that you can do. You can really implement it in your life in different things, So once you have come up with your breakthrough goal and you're breaking it down into the steps that you want to take, then each day you want to maybe have something like a goal of what is that I want to achieve in that bigger breakthrough goal that I have. How can I break it down into maybe 5 things that I can actually do? So what this does is it makes it very simple that every day you'll achieve something. You are able to at least do something and say, okay, I've done something towards my goal, whether it's asking for help, whether it's delegating someone to be able to do it. So those are taking actions, those are taking steps, you are doing something towards it. So you really want to look into your life and see how you can do that so that you are able to start gaining traction instead of getting stuck where you are. So you can use this wherever you are in your life to really improve. Whether you have been really doing well, you can even do great, you can do much better than that. And then as I'm close to an end, there are other things that you need to take control of if you want to be successful. That kind of become a stronghold if you are not addressing them. So a lot of time, we are stopped by lack of confidence, we become overwhelmed, or we are not really asking. So one of the things that you want to do that hinders our success is when we have things that are not complete, incomplete things. We are all made up of energy, and incomplete things kind of leaks the energy that we need to be doing the things that we want. So whether you don't believe in science things or what, but I'm going to give you a typical example of what it means when you've got incomplete, and messes, because they contribute to your overwhelm. Instead of thinking about productive things that will help you get what you want, your subconscious mind will always relapse back to that incomplete thing that you have not finished, that you have not done. It will always refer you back to the mess. So it's like the incomplete is always chipping away at your energy. It's chipping away, at your focus. So what they can like to say is that they are attention units. So every one of us has attention units. And every time that your attention units are taken away, they are diverted because there is something that needs to be completed in your life. It takes away your focus from your goal. Whether you owe someone money, and every day you keep on remembering that you owe someone money, it's taking away your focus. Whether you started a project, the most common incomplete, that take away our attention is things that we start and we don't finish. I know that this is very common to literally all of us, most people, until we are aware. We start something, when we get stuck, we abandon it, and then we think that the next thing that we start will be easier than that. It doesn't look easier as well. We also abandon it. So before you know it, you have all these open, incomplete things that are all fighting for your attention, that are all stealing attention. That when you sleep at night, when you wake up at 12 and the baby's crying or there's an alarm, instead of going back to sleep now, all these incomplete messes and things are the ones that are going to come back and start stopping you from going to bed again. So what do you do with all these? So where you are thinking that this one is not working, I'm going to start another one, and then the other one comes and you're still not able to start it and finish it, and you also start another one. So it becomes, it becomes this cycle of things. It could be clutter in the house, overflowing closets, broken doors, incompletes come in so many things, agreements that are hanging, relationships that we have not concluded or sealed, but we know we don't want them, anything that you can ever think of, fights with siblings, unresolved problems, nagging health conditions, where you know that you've got to attend to this and you're not attending it. So, each and every one of us has incomplete tasks and messes that are not cleaned up. And in order to pave way for what wants to be expressed through you, to pave way for those new dreams, we need to pause and clear out all these messes and complete some of these things. If you are not completing them, decide whether this is something that you need to complete or you abandon it completely. Because if you decide to do that, then you are closing it off. So your brain is going to know that that is closed off. But if you still want to finish it, you're going to finish it. It goes for so many things. Maybe you enrolled for a program and you never finished it. The books are still there. They still send you materials. Decide. You want to complete it. Or you want to just tell them that, no, I've decided, otherwise I'm taking a different course now, so I'm no longer going to finish this. So, you really want to look at this and start working on it. And these messes can be as little as a desk that is cluttered, that has got many things on it, because all these things, they keep on stealing your attention. It could be a full mailbox where everything is in the mailbox. You can create folders and put all of these things in the folders. You can delete some of the emails that you don't want. It takes time. I do that at least once in a week. I go into my mailbox and I save some of the things that I think I need to use, and I delete whatever that I don't need, because otherwise it's just clutter there in my mailbox, getting my attention. So the more incompletes you have in your life, the more your focus and creative energy is going to get fractured and structured. So the more incompletes you have in your life, the more your focus and energy is going to be fractured and scattered. So you want to really clean up some of those myths and incompletes. And one of the things that happens when you do that is you're going to build back your self-confidence and self-esteem. So these incomplete and things that we don't resolve are the ones that steal our self-confidence and self-esteem. When I work with clients and they come saying, I have low self-esteem, I've got low self-confidence, I ask them, when did you notice that? Because like I always say, we are all born highly confident. Think about yourself, think about your kids. When we are young, we believe that we can take over the world, we can do everything, anything that we want, until someone tells us, no, we can't. So if you are here and you feel like your self-confidence is gone, your self-esteem is gone, when did that start? What happened? So start working on that. Once you start working on that and reframing your story around it, your self-confidence, your self-esteem is gonna come back. And one of the things, when we have incomplete or messes in our lives, we are consciously or unconsciously judging ourselves. We think we are not enough, we are not competent, and we are not capable because we have not completed them. So we start judging ourselves based on that, the fact that we have not been able to do them. So we think something is wrong with us, and that's why we have actually not done them. And every time you look at those things, they are like talking to you that you are not handling me. You are ignoring me. So we don't complete some of those things because we are either afraid to handle them or we don't know how to handle them. And this fear and lack of knowledge really compromises our feelings of competence. So by handling the incompletes, we cannot get more time in our lives to focus on those steps that will bring about the important dreams and goals that we have in our lives. So I'll challenge you to take time to put all your incompletes and messes down on the list, either on paper or on your computer. Then walk around your house, notice things room by room in your house, things that needs to be repaired. Go through your stack of bills, find anything that is not at hand that needs to be paid, list it down. Share with your spouse and your family relationships how bad things are so that they understand where you are going for. From there, then prioritize those lists. What is that you're going to start working on? Then tackle it once a month, once a quarter. Just start taking action. You don't have to think about all the times because they're on the list, but you will gradually start taking action, doing them, one day at a time. You can even set a goal towards that, have your minimum target and optimum, so that you are able to handle those incompletes and boost your confidence and create available attention span in your life to tackle the things that are more important in your life, because you don't want to be leaking your energy in a way that will end up sabotaging you. So this leads us to another principle, success principle that is important, is being able to ask for what you want. Most people are not courageous or confident enough to ask for what they want. So they end up settling, they settle to less than what they want and what they deserve. And the second thing is that when we don't ask, we're actually rejecting ourselves in advance. So it's like we're just saying no to ourselves before anyone else has a chance to say no. It's like you are looking at me, maybe you want to ask me for help, and you start thinking, Hannah, Hannah looks like she likes things, maybe she won't even look at me. Look at me, I am this small woman, I'm this small person, she won't listen to me. And instead of approaching me or approaching someone for help, you've already ruled that out, that they are not going to help you. And by that, it means you are settling. So you have actually settled for less than what you want and what you deserve. So one of the things that you can do is, I'm going to share with you 6 tips for successfully asking for what you want. So stop being afraid to ask. You may face rejection, but be prepared to reject the rejection, when it comes. Be prepared to reject the rejection when it comes. So what do I mean that people should reject the rejection? Is that people may reject you, but at least you know that you have asked, you have done your part. So 6 tips to help you ask for what you want. The first one is ask as if you expect to get it. So ask with a positive expectation. Ask from the place that you've already been given. It's a done deal. So if you get a yes, that's great. And then the second tip is assume you can. Don't start with the assumption that you can't get it. Because if you start with this assumption that you can't get it, it's going to really lower your energy. So if you are going to assume you can get an upgrade, you can get something better, than what you actually wanted. Assume that you can get a raise or get a promotion. So ask, if you're looking for a promotion at work, ask. If you want to go get leave, ask. I find some of my clients, because I host these retreats, normally 3 to 5 days retreats, and I will be asking someone, are you going for a retreat? No. One of my clients, I'm not sure if she's here, she registered. He said, no, I'm not going. Why? No, they can't let me go at work. They can't let me go at work. Okay, why can't they let you go at work? So already, she didn't ask. She's just assuming that she won't be released. She didn't even want to ask so that she can feel a leave because the retreat is happening in advance. So how often do we do that? Where else do you find yourself ruling things out before you even ask, assuming that you cannot? And then tip number 3, ask someone who can give it to you. So sometimes instead of asking everyone, qualify the person. Determine for yourself, who would I have to speak to if I can get this accomplished? Who would I speak to if I'm to get this accomplished? Who is authorized to make a decision? Who do I have to speak with to get whatever that I'm asking for? I'm very big in qualifying. I qualify, I get in an environment, I know I want something, I can sense it that the person I'm dealing with can't help me. If I disqualify that person, I ask them for the next person in line of authority. So I'll normally ask, can I speak to a supervisor or can I speak to a manager? Because I have disqualified this person that they won't be able to help me. I do this a lot, especially in restaurants, because I am a health fanatic and I always know what I want to eat. So even if it's not there in the menu, I always create my own menu in every restaurant that I go to. So I just need to decide what I want and I ask them what options are there. So they remove something and they add another thing. So sometimes the junior employees, they don't have the courage to make decisions. So they will say, no, it's not possible. I said, no, everything is possible. There's nothing like it's not possible. As long as you know what you want and you are willing to ask, everything is possible. So that is what I normally do. So I said, okay, call the manager. So the manager comes and I tell them, okay, I would rather prefer this option and this can mix and match, and they normally mix and match. I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink any soft drinks, 100% juice, because there's just so much sugar into it. So I normally drink herbal teas. And I would get into a restaurant where they say they don't have herbal tea, and I'll ask for a manager and ask them why they don't have it, whether they have any plans of having it. And sometimes while I'm still there, maybe drinking water, they'll come back and say, no, we decided to go and buy it. And you see? So then in future, they will use it because other people, when they ask, it will already be there. The fourth one, be clear and specific. Too many people are walking around wanting things that they don't know. They say they want a pay raise. You ask them how much. No, I don't know anything you will do. But you said you want more money. They want more help out. They want more recognition. But they're not being specific. Exactly, what is it that you want? How much money do you want? If you really want more money. So be really specific. Learn to make specific requests, because you will get what you want if you are very specific. And then tip number 5, ask repeatedly. Never give up. Most of us, we ask once, and if it's a no, we are gone. We just conclude that we are failures and it's not going to happen. So really get used to hearing no, because there are different reasons of saying no. Maybe people have got other priorities that they are working on and they are not interested in helping, but it's not a reflection on you. So it's not about you when someone says no. It's always about their priorities and what is it that they actually want to do. And this brings me to number 6, that ask someone else. So if someone says no, that's not the end of your life, that's not the end of your dreams. Move to another person. Ask. Remember, there are over 6 billion people on this planet. 6 million billion. So someone else has enough authority. Someone else is skilled enough. Someone else is knowledgeable enough. is emotionally invested enough to be able to help you and give you whatever that you want. So don't get stuck in your fear and think if someone said no, it means that's the end. Move on to the next person, then the next person, then the next person, until you finally connect with the person who can really help you with what you want. So it's just a number game. Someone out there is waiting to say yes to you. So are you going to ask, or you are going to just disqualify yourself and say no to yourself in advance? I challenge you to go out there and ask for what you want. And I promise you, you'll always get it, because I always get what I ask for. Even if it's not conventional, even if it's not in the menu, even though it's not usually done, I ask, and they always find a way of meeting me halfway and actually really doing it. So you want to be able to do that. So this brings us towards the end of this webinar. And my challenge is to commit to doing one thing that will create your future. So what can you do immediately, after this webinar? What is it that you want to do? So I want you to post there in the chat box. Post your comment on the chat box. What are you committing to doing? Out of all the things that I've shared with, that I've talked to you about, I've talked about E plus R is equals to O, that the power always lies in your response. Instead of reacting then to response, I've talked about to stop blaming and complaining and start changing the circumstances so that you can get the things that you want. And then we talked about deciding what is it that you want, really becoming very clear on deciding, and then choosing a breakthrough goal that you can actually follow through, and then looking at the yellow alerts in your life. What are those yellow alerts? What are things that you are ignoring that are showing you that trouble is coming? What are things that are troubling you that you are not courageous enough to face, so that you are able to actually face them? So you want to look at all of those things and decide what is it that you can do immediately, coming up with a breakthrough goal, breaking down your goals, going back to recommit to the things that you wanted to do that you have paused because you thought you were stuck, because you felt overwhelmed, going back to them and breaking them down into small chunks and into small actionable steps, so that you can start really taking action, and then really getting the courage to clean up your messes and your incompletes, the things that you are ignoring that are still stealing your attention units, and really asking for what you want and looking at those 6 steps that I shared. So what do you commit to doing? What is one thing that you are committing to do from what we shared today? So I want you to go to the chat box there and share what you want to do. So what is it that you really want to start doing? What is one thing that you can take action on right from today and really start doing? Okay, we are quickly going to really close on this. Just a few minutes to cover what we have, the time that we lost when we started late. But like I mentioned, I want you to decide on one thing that you really want to do in your life, so that you can start taking action right away, because it's either now or it is never. So it is either now or it is going to be never. And then secondly, one of the things that I really enjoy doing is actually coaching. It's helping people to achieve their dreams, And a large part of it is actually to just redesign your life and shape it into the way that you want to do. So once you have decided what you want to do, is to really help you to get that going. So we just spent the past 60 minutes together, and I know exactly where you are because I was once there. I was actually attending the same webinar, just like this one offered by Jack Canfield in 2014, when I first learned about the R factor. And all I was thinking as Jack Canfield was talking was, okay, Jack Canfield, I hear you. I hear that this R factor is a great principle, but what's next? You know, and I guess this is where you are. You are thinking, what's next? Okay, I've got two options. Actually, you have two options, and the choice is yours. So the first option is for you to go and do it yourself. I've raised your level of awareness. You have the workbook. You kind of have an idea of what you can do to sort out your life wherever that you are, whether it's your relationships, at work or at home, whether it's building your dreams, getting the things that you want, whether it's your health, your lifestyle. So you can go back home, follow through the workbook that I gave you, and do everything that is telling you to do at your own pace, But I have a question for you. If you have not been doing that before, and if you are one of the people that we've been talking about in the webinar, where you are often procrastinating, where you start projects and you abandon them along the way, and you don't follow through. So what makes you think that this time around you will be able to implement what's in the workbook all by yourself until the end? Honestly, let's face it. What makes you think that you're going to do that on your own? But anyway, I will respect your choice. If you choose to go and do yourself, all the best. But if you were like me back then, which is why I'm sharing this with you, is because I took action and I took option 2. So you can choose option 2 and let me help you implement this process, give you a detailed workbook where you can work through this. And, at that time, I saw a lot of possibilities. I was far, but I saw that there's so many possibilities. I realized that I needed more than just a 1-hour webinar. I needed to take the next steps. I needed a process to guide me through. And more importantly, I needed someone to hold me by the hand, someone to hold me accountable and actually support me. And if you are at that place where I have been, I have a special opportunity for you to consider. So what I'm going to share with you is called the Success Principles. This is a revolutionary program that you don't want to miss. This is a 6 weeks interactive group coaching experience because it is so much more than just coaching. So I'll break it down for you shortly. Let's see what it has for you. So if you say, I know what I want, Hannah, I know what I want and I want the next steps. I'm going to start by giving you a workbook. So the workbook will help you to guide you through the entire program. And in addition to that, I also want you to work with one another. So you are going to gain so much more value from me, as you get from each other. I want to make sure that you connect and unite. And I've created a closed Facebook community setup. It is a secret group just for people who are in the program so that you can actually work together. You can share your wins, share your aha moments, share your challenges, and everyone can achieve more because of this. And then thirdly, there is coaching involved because there is an actual process that I'm going to guide you through so that you move from where you are to where you want to go. So every week we are going to go over Zoom, just like we are right now. And it is only going to be people who have paid up, who are actually members. So each of the weeks, I'm going to guide you through different proven principles that thousands of people around the world are actually following right now, and it has absolutely transformed their lives. And a typical example is me. This really helped me. I am a victim of rape, and that took me a very long time to get over. But it was when I was going through this in Las Vegas in one of Jack Canfield's program that I was able to come to terms with that and heal completely. So I know this can actually change your life, and it also helped me to turn around my family life. There are times when I worked 24/7 in my business, but I changed that once I had this awareness. And then I will answer your questions inside the Facebook group so that you can watch it over and over whenever that you want. And then fourth, there's also an accountability system. So I want to make sure that you never miss one of our weekly sessions. So the very least you are going to watch is a replay. So we are going to be recording this so that if you have missed and you have not attended live, you are able to watch the recording. So I'm going to be sending you reminders, via email, via text messages each week to ensure that we are following through what we are working on. Because I know that the program works, but it only works if you work it, if you implement. So I'm willing to hold you accountable through emails, messages to ensure that you stick to the program. And then ultimately, the greatest value I can offer is my ultimate focus, and that is priceless. I am in this to win with you. So I'm committed to your success, and I'm going to dive deep in these 6 weeks so that you begin to live the life that I know you want and that you know deep down that you actually deserve. So during this 60 minutes together in this webinar, you have actually seen the path to get to where you want. And successfully is that path for you that can move you from where you are to where you actually want to go. So let's get to the price. So the price of this program, the value put together, the workbook, the Facebook group, the weekly coaching, accountability, my focus is valued at $497 per person. But I have an early adopter special, which is available for the next week. So if you sign up within 7 days, you can lock up the value of $197 per person. But if you are the kind of person who I was when I was on the receiving end of this webinar 5 years ago, and you are the kind of person who say that I know what I want, then I have a special for you. Because one thing that I see in this kind of work for the past 5 years that I've been a coach is that the people that see something and know for sure that they want it and take immediate action, they really get great results out of the work. So that is my total motivation for you, is to get the result that you want. And I want to reward you for that. So if you take action now and you sign up for the Success Principles, the 6-week group coaching total immersion, I'm going to discount the early adopter special so that it is only $97. And this is only available for the next 4 days after the webinar is done. Because I want to reward the people who say, right now, I know what I want and I'm taking action. So if you say yes today, right now, or within the next 4 days, the early adopter price is marked down to only $97. And if you have been coached before, you know that this is a no-brainer. This is a price that you wouldn't want to really let go. And if you have never been coached before, if you have never taken any time to do this, you have never invested in yourself, this is the best time to start, because the price that I'm offering is much, much lower than all my other coaching programs that I have. So you want to really take advantage of this $97 offer, because you know what happens if you continue doing the same things that you have been doing over and over. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity and you go back home with that workbook and with this replay and continue living your life the way you lived it, next year, same time, you are going to be at the same place that you are right now. And I don't think that is what you want for you. So you want to do something different. You want to take action. So I'm going to get over in the program, because together we can transform your life, and you can also transform the lives of everyone else who is in the program, because together we can achieve more. So if you are the person that knows what they want, take action now and head over to hannahlecha.synfit.com TSP0001. And on that page, you will see the promotion right there for you. So take action now, grab your credit card or debit card and sign up now. I can't wait to see you inside the group, because this is the right thing for you to do right now. This is the best investment and gift that you can give yourself in 2019. So having said that, I want us to respect the time. So we are at the top of the hour. We are done. And I want to just thank you for watching. Thank you for staying through the entire course. And this is being recorded, by the way. So you will get a replay via email, and you can watch that replay as many times as you want. And feel free to also share it with your colleagues at work, with your loved one, your family members, because they will get great value out of this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Those who are in the South African time, good night. If you are in other parts of the country, maybe it's the morning. So have a great day.